Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make activity 132.8, the pin slider block. First, I'm going to go ahead and use these overall dimensions. See, this is 0.734 by 1.75. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new sketch on the front. Click on front. I'm going to make a rectangle, as I just said, and now D for dimension. This one's going to be 0.734. And this one is going to be 1.75. Now I'm going to extrude it. If you see over here, it says 0.375 tall. So I'm going to extrude 0.375 tall. Finish that sketch. Extrude. Click on the corner so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to extrude 0.375. Enter. There we go. There's our extrusion. Now I'm going to chamfer these edges. If you see down here, see how it says 0.125 typical? That typical means if it looks like it, it probably is the chamfer. So I'm going to have four chamfers on the outside, all four of them. Later on, when I do the top, you'll see here there's four chamfers on here as well, on the top, right here. All right, but I'm just going to do the outside ones right here, the outside ones. So I'm going to click on the chamfer tool. And I'm going to, under entities to chamfer, first, it's going to be 0.125, and it's going to be equal distance because both of them are 0.125, so it's going to be equal distance. And I'm going to click on the edge. I'm not going to click on the face, I'm going to click on this edge. And I'm also going to do, I'm going to do this extrusion, and I'm going to do this, this edge. So notice we have all three edges so far, and I need to get the other edge down here. So that way I've chamfered all four of those edges. So I just made 1, 2, 3, 4 of those chamfers. So those are done. I'm going to check, and those are done. Okay? So I did this whole base part on the outside. Now I'm on top. I need to go ahead and make this rectangle and extrude that and chamfer it. So now I'm going to make a new sketch. Right click and make a new sketch. And I'm going to click on front, so I'm looking at it head on. And I'm going to make a rectangle, and I'm not sure where it is. It's kind of there-ish to there-ish. Okay. Now it's 0.141 from each side, so I'm going to go ahead and hit D for dimension. From this edge to here is 0.141. Same thing over here, 0.141. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and extrude it. It's going to be 0.813 minus 0.375 tall. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and done with that sketch. I'll click on a corner so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to extrude. And I'm going to click on that rectangle. And it's going to be 0.813 minus 0.375. Hit enter. Okay, so notice what it does. All right, it should go ahead and do the math for us. So 0.8 minus about 0.4 should be around 0.4. So it should be around 0.4 tall. So let's see if we double click on it. See, around 0.4 tall. So it'll do the math for us. It's a computer, so it'll do the math for us. Okay, now I'm going to do those same four chamfers on this edge, these four edges. Okay, so I'm going to click on chamfer again. It's also going to be 0.125, 0.125. Again, 0.125 typical means it looks like it. That's it. Equal distance. So I'm going to click this corner. I'll click this corner. I'll click this corner. And now I need to get the opposite side. So I'm going to click on, let's see, I need to be able to see this corner. So I'm going to get that corner. All right, there we go. I got all four edges of extrude too. That looks good. Okay, well, let me go ahead and spin it around so I can see. It looks pretty good. Next, what we need to do is we need to make a fillet. There's the fillet tool, click on the fillet tool. The fillet is a radius of 0.25, and I'm going to click on this edge here. The fillet's that one, and I need the opposite one. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's see, I need a corner. There we go, and I need to fillet that one also. So those are filleted. Check, that's done. Now the last thing we need to make a hole. We're not going to do it on this side, on the front. It's got to be the opposite side on the bottom. So I'm going to make a new sketch. And I'm going to place a point on that sketch. Click on back so I'm looking at it head on. It's going to be centered. So D for dimension. From here in the X direction. That didn't take. Click on dimension. From the point to the bottom edge is going to be 0.367. 0.367. And from here to the left edge, the total width is 1.75. So we're going to put in the middle, we're going to do it 1.75 divided by 2. It'll do the math for us. Okay, so there's our hole. Now I click check. Now I'm going to click on the hole tool. So we are going to make a counter bore hole. The width is going to be 0.165. That's the diameter of the through hole. Notice it's a through hole. The diameter of the counter bore is 0.177, and the depth of the counter bore is 0.633. Let me just make sure I click on the hole so that that's set, and click check. And there we go, it's done. And if we zoom in, we can see it's a very narrow hole, but we can see the counter bore of the hole. So that's how to make 132 number 8 for pin slider block.